we talk about overpopulation on this earth, and like people have to die to make room for new people. And I'm like, how selfish of me to not want to go through that piece of life as well, to not allow space for somebody else to come and experience this life that I've had.
Wow, that's very Buddha of you. That's very, it's giving
It's
enlightened.
giving almost 40.
It's giving enlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the Femme Tell All podcast. My name is Madison Bellissimo.
And I'm Ruth Devereaux.
And we're so happy you're here.
We're so happy.
I like that.
I wanted to change it up a little bit. I feel like I do it the same way every time.
I feel like we change it up every time, actually.
We do?
Yeah, a little. Like I do this, we're so happy, and then you do something different.
I usually like sing it or something.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do
it doesn't change the sentiment. We are
always
so happy you're here.
Thank you.
And today's episode, we're talking about birthdays because yours just passed.
It did.
Mine is coming up.
It is.
and we rehearsed that. And it's just such a reflective time.
Yeah.
And we did an episode very early on in the pod about aging. And we got a lot of response to it. And I think it's because it's such a delicate subject.
It is, especially for women, I think, too. I think we've talked a lot about how youth and beauty is such a currency for women. And so it's really hard to lose that at some point. Like
slipping through my
I'm like, no.
That's how it feels to me. I'm like, oh my God.
And I always tell her, I'm like, I'll always be older than you. No worries. You'll feel fine for the rest of your life.
But the funny part, and I always say this if people don't know you, but like specifically when people know you, I think every time, even a friend of mine heard your age the other day, and he was just like, Jesus, she's so gorgeous. And I was like,
that's so nice.
I was like, yeah, dude, she is.
Who do I need to pay?
Yeah. I'll give you his Venmo. But it's true, and I think about that a lot. But I always advertise us as like, even though you are older than me, I'm like, you act not with the complexities of your maturity. Like I'm not.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But I'm like, you act. You're so youthful, so jovial, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like a fucking like like what is that like jaded ass like fucking 60-year-old that's like, this isn't my first fucking rodeo. And I think sometimes I feel like I am very positive.
You are.
Mostly, but I would say I think I have like a seriousness cloud sometimes where I feel like it makes me come off a little more mature than I am.
You are super mature for your age. And I've always said that. I think that the way you hold yourself is just so classy and so put together, and like you don't tend to relate that to somebody your age, but you absolutely hold yourself in a way that I would assume you're older from that.
Yeah, thank you.
Not the way you look though.
That's very sweet. But, yeah, it's just hard. It's hard, like aging in general, like. It's such a luxury, and I keep I have to keep fucking pounding that into my brain to be like, it is a luxury to age and to live and to like have experiences and to have fine lines and to like I'm like these are lines because I laugh so much and I smile and I make crazy faces at my nephew. You know, like those are the lines that are appearing on my face. You know, so. Not to be like fucking kumbaya, like I don't know.
No,
like,
it's hard. It's a balance, right? Because there is a blessing in aging. There's a blessing in living this life that we get to live that some people like don't. They don't get to like live as long as we've even lived. Like it is such a blessing, but then it's the balance of like, but no.
Yeah, especially when youth and beauty is such a currency.
Well, and I think that I had always wondered why women lied about their age. I didn't think like I would ever be that type of woman, and I don't think I ever will lie about my age, but I did this year start feeling uncomfortable with announcing my age.
It.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
And I've never felt that before. And I was on set actually it turned midnight of my birthday and I was on set and somebody asked me how old I was. I'm like, I'm not telling you. And I've always been very proud because in my lineage of like jobs that I've had, I've always been the youngest person there.
You're baby across the board. Like your personality is baby. She is baby TM. It's true.
Baby TM. But I'd always been proud to announce that age because I felt like I was so successful in what I was doing for my age. And now I've hit that age where I'm like, I'm almost ashamed, and I hate that I feel that way.
Oh my God.
But it's like I don't want people to know, and like I shouldn't feel that way, and I know that fully.
Yeah.
But I felt it this year for the first time, and it was such an odd feeling for me.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking soul rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean,
and you know how I feel about death too. So it's like every year I'm like, I'm closer.
Dude, wait. That is actually such a Ruthism. Is like like that was the funny thing that I learned this year about you, that like I felt like I knew so much about you, and then you said that and I was like, that's your biggest fear?
It's such a visceral fear for me.
No, and like as soon as you told me, I was like, oh, the boogeyman is in the room with us currently. You know, like, I'm like, I can feel your fear coming off you. You know,
it's true.
It's true, and it's I don't think you're in the minority there.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people just don't advertise it.
Sure.
And
they don't talk about it on a podcast. I don't understand.
For free, you know? Yeah. So I think it's good that you're destigmatizing it, though. I think because a lot of people do feel that way. Yeah. And I feel like announcing it makes it a little less scary, hopefully.
I think it feels more relatable when you're able to open up about those fears, and like also the fear of like saying an age. Like, I think so many times we don't want to be vulnerable in those factors of like, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm struggling with. Mm-hmm. And you might not even be able to like notice it in yourself. You have to sit with yourself and go like, why do I feel this way? Where is this coming from? Like, and kind of break it down. And for me, even thinking about the fear of saying my age, like, of course it relates to my most biggest fear of like dying.
Yeah.
It relates
it's
to
1 year closer to that. Right?
Yeah.
But what about if you change your perspective and it's like 1 more year of living?
You know what I actually thought about the other day? I thought right now, like in my life, I'm so happy in so many different factors. Mm-hmm. And I thought how we talk about overpopulation on this earth, and like people have to die to make room for new people. And I'm like, how like selfish of me to not want to go through that piece of life as well, to not allow space for somebody else to come and experience this life that I've had.
Wow, that's very, very Buddha of you. That's very, it's giving
it's
enlightened.
Giving almost 40.
It's giving enlightened.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's one of those things that like I think about, that's your maturity coming through. That's your life experience where you're able to view it in a different way and like really, really enjoy it. And be able to look back fondly on all of your memories. And there is a sense of like, let me go through my life and live it to the fucking fullest, because not everyone gets that opportunity or that chance. I know you brought up the other day, not to be morbid, but you had brought up someone dying unexpectedly the other day that you knew through a friend, right? Yeah. And it's tragic. And I think about like the 27 Club all the time, you know, and now that I'm 28, turning 29. 29.
Baby. The real baby.
29. It's just one of those things that like I already feel super fortunate that I've lived as long as I have. And I'm like, let's go for 60 plus more, you know? But I completely understand the fear of like not using your time. I think that's a huge portion of this, like fear of aging, fear of dying, is like feeling like you haven't experienced enough, that you haven't grasped life to the fullest. Yeah. And to that, I say like fucking fair, big whoop. Figure it out, like start grasping, like, you know, like.
Well, that's the thing too, right? It's a reminder to grasp. And I think that unfortunately, like, death is so sad to witness and experience around us, but it is reminders of like, this is your one life. This is the time you get to experience this beautiful world and all the good and the bad of it. And you have to experience bad to appreciate good. And even my friend that told me that they had lost somebody unexpectedly was like, I'm not happy where I'm living. I need to move. And this is a reminder of that. And it pushes those buttons to say like, get up and go, because like you're wasting your life.
Yeah, because things happen unexpectedly all the time. And that's why we talked about it on that a couple episodes ago of the like
last words.
Yeah. You never know. You have to be really cognizant of choosing how you leave people and
intentional in how you live your life. Yeah. I think so many times we get into the just the day-to-day of like, this is like what I do, this is how I do it, this is what I'm doing every day, that you forget to actually live life with intention. You forget to enjoy the little moments. You forget to like make time for yourself, because especially for driven people, we're constantly on to the next thing, on to the next thing. And I was talking on my birthday with Neil about this. I'm like, where is that balance for driven people to say, like, I want to keep driving forward, but I also want to enjoy this.
Yeah, smell the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is it's a grind, you know? I think it's that, like, we have to, you know, it's that production mentality. And I think a lot of us Americans feel that, like, the deepest, maybe.
I feel like it's in the city, too, because even going to Santa Barbara, like, you get into the city.
Well, they've made enough money that they don't work anymore if they live in Santa Barbara. They're like, I'm retired at 16.
At 16.
You know, and you're like, okay. And they're like, I coded the last app, you know, and you're like, okay, cool. That was very vague, but you know what I'm saying. I think you're right. Like,
it's a slower pace.
It's
like,
so much slower.
Even like if you go to like San Diego, or if you go to like all of these towns like outside of these major hubs, like the energy feels different, and it does feel slower.
Yeah, in a good way,
in a great way,
and like you can enjoy yourself. I did want to say one thing before I ask you a question. I think the times that I experience this the most, where I'm like in my head, and then I feel like the universe like gives me like a funny little like wake up. You know, it's like every time I'm driving in LA, you know, it's like I'm just like, usually I'm in a rush.
Always.
You know, I'm like, I need to
get me out of this quick.
Fucking Cruella de Vil going, you know,
from
like one space to another, and it's just so funny to me. But then one thing that always takes me out is seeing a dog in a car. That is one thing.
So
and
cute.
You see them a lot in LA, like, and they sometimes got the goggles on. Sometimes they're literally like mad dogging you through the window, and that every time like makes me giggle, and I'm like, thank you, like to the like universe, to whatever you believe in. I'm like, I needed that, you know. I needed to like touch some fucking grass and like figure out that like, I might be late to this meeting, or maybe I'll be perfectly on time, but like I don't have to be like fucking shoulders at my fucking ears, like trying to rush everything in my life. Like, look at this dog living its best life in the back seat.
Kids do that too.
Oh yeah.
100%. They're present in the moment. They're
present.
living life for the first time. So they're really enjoying it and taking it in. And it's such like a reminder of I
honestly think that's why parenthood is a drug sometimes, in the way of like, people are like, how do you keep doing it? How do you keep having kids? Or like, how did you convince yourself to have a kid in general? And I'm like, but I think it's seeing the world through fresh eyes. And I think it gives you a new lease on life, you know? So that's my impression of it as an aunt.
I love that.
I know that you do this wonderful tradition of asking questions on people's birthdays. Yeah. It is one of the coolest, sweetest, most considerate things that I think any friend has ever done. Like, I remember our first time you took me out for my birthday, you asked these questions, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, how caring. And first of all, it helped me reflect on my last year and like set goals for the new year. Yeah. Do you mind telling the listeners what questions you
absolutely.
ask?
I always go, what was your favorite memory from this year? What was like the least favorite memory from this year?
The highs and the lows.
Yeah. What did you learn? And where do you want to be next year?
All right, why don't you answer? If you feel comfortable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My favorite memory from this year, oh man, that one's tough because I have so many great memories. If I had to pick one, crap, I can't think of one. Like I've had so many great memories from this year, and I feel like it's been such a pivotal year for me. I feel like work has been the busiest it's ever been.
100%.
We've done, like, this is our first full year with the podcast. Yeah. Like, I feel like I got to a place.
You and Neil, elevated your life.
We've moved in together.
Right at the,
It's been such an incredible year and so many great memories that I cannot pinpoint one where I'm like, that was my favorite memory. I think this year has been one of my favorite years.
That's incredible. Yeah. Like, isn't that something to look forward to? Yeah. You know, I don't know
if
that's
why I don't want to die.
Life is so precious. But I think that's fair and that's beautiful that you had that. I'm so glad. But isn't that cool?
One of the best things that happened this year too, because I think I had so many fears about this before, was baby not having seizures anymore.
Yes, that's her cat, if anyone doesn't know. One of her two beautiful cats.
Yeah, and where previously she had seizures probably every couple of weeks, really.
Like
got to
twice a month,
point. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And they were bad. And they she was like convulsing and like foam and everything. And I thought that we were just going to live with it for the rest of her life. And I thought her life was going to be more short-lived. And then when we moved, they just stopped.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. I have no idea what happened, but it just stopped. So that's been one of the most amazing things that has happened this year.
Yeah. And I think that's a testament to who you are as a person, that your favorite like thing that you look forward to this year was completely outside of you. It was like true. Completely your child, That's very Ruth coded. And it's true. But like, I think that's such a beautiful thing. And honestly, in my opinion on that, like obviously we never want our loved ones suffering, whether that be a pet or otherwise. Yeah. But I think for you also, that's probably made you feel like you have more time with her too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a huge thing. Do you want to talk about the low? You don't have to.
What's a low? I think the low would be I guess like this is the kind of the other side of this coin is because I've been working so much, I haven't been able to go back home.
Yeah.
And the low is honestly like for Neil's birthday, we were actually going to travel home to go to my nephew's graduation. Mm-hmm. And then we were going to go to Austin afterwards for his birthday, and we both got COVID.
Yeah.
And so I had to miss my nephew's graduation, and we didn't get to celebrate Neil's birthday in the way that we wanted to.
Yeah.
That was the low.
That was really hard.
Yeah, that was tough. I felt super bad because obviously those life moments, especially for people I care about, are so important, and to have to miss that was crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that you had to. And I know that you guys will make up for it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You'll be able to see more time. I think, if anything, it's a testament to how hard you've been working. Like, I know you're grinding so hard now so that you can spend more time with your loved ones. Like, that is very important to you. So, as your friend, I would say give yourself a little grace there. You will be able to do that, Yeah. What you learned most, or growth?
Yeah,
what
I learned the most, and I think my biggest lesson from this year is, and I knew this, but I think that I saw it play out this year.
Yeah.
Was if you surround yourself with the right people, life changes. And I think that I saw that in full growth this year.
Yeah.
Because I think I started becoming more diligent of choosing the people that are closest to me in the circle. And with that, have seen so many great things come out. That's why I don't have a lot of negatives, because I don't have any drama in my life at all.
God. I'm not trying to be like that, but I'm like, there's been some rough years in the past.
Yeah, and you've had to live through that. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm like, no, I mean, not like that.
No, but it's true. Like, but it affects it doesn't even just affect me. It affects the people that are closest to me that shouldn't be in that.
Well, that care for you, It's like one thing for me that, as a witness to that, it's like, sometimes people who are so no one's deserving of like shitty things happening to them, really, unless you're like a completely horrific person. But even then, it's like you would wish for grace and sacrifice for, like, I don't know.
You do. No, I think even the people that we don't,
you wish them
quote
well.
unquote, like you want them to be fine. You want their lives to be well.
Yeah. However, like, it's especially hard when someone is so lovely and sweet and kind, and to see them, like, the shit happen to them, and you're just like,
I feel the same about Christ. You. I think we're both super protective of each other when things like that happen.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing ever happens to me. It's true, though. Like, and I think, witnessing that and seeing that, it was just like, fuck, like, it's hard, It's hard to see that happen to good people. And I think, a lot of the time we would have, and you're someone who's so proactive about, like, how can I change my behavior? How can I, and I think a lot of the time you were like, not like, what am I doing wrong? But you were like, why does this keep happening? Yeah. And, it's hard to cut people out of your life. Yeah. And I think a lot of the time we would have those conversations where it's easier for me to be the mirror to you and be like, is that a person a friend? Like, do you think that that's a friend? Would you do that to a friend?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, but then it's like you create this softness where, oh, but they're going through this or they're doing that. And I think that being more protective of yourself and like caring for people from a distance is the best thing you can do for your mental health.
Yeah. So, yeah, wish them well.
Yeah.
Send them on their road.
Live long and prosper over
exactly.
there.
Yeah. Catch you later.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's one of those, I think that you've really, like you said, learned that you really practice. I think you honestly put it into practice last year.
Yeah.
And then you were able to reap the benefits of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's, to me, the biggest thing where I'm like, wow, I see, like I haven't had drama. I've been without the drama, you're able to focus on growth.
Yeah.
And so then like that becomes limitless.
Yeah.
And then you continue to like just keep going.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're bogged down by people's problems or people bringing problems into your life, then you're so distracted with that and surviving through that that you can't think of anything else.
Yeah, completely.
But so that was my biggest lesson.
Love that. And then there's one more question, right?
Where do I want to go next year?
Great.
By next year, I'll be married.
Oh, shit. She just said.
It's happening.
Yeah. That's not a manifestation. That's some confirmed knowledge. When are we getting that ring, Neil? I can say that. Yeah. I feel like I can say that because I'm your friend. Can. It's funny because I would never say that to someone else, but it's because I feel like I know the information that Neil has purchased. Has purchased some
maybe
some
the time
jewelry.
this airs.
Really? You think?
I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If you have a ring on your finger next time we. Anyway, just a zoom in of me. Anyway,
but so in the next year for sure, just I would love to get to that next step with Neil, and we know we're going there. It's just like now being able to live through it will be so incredible. Obviously, this podcast means so much to me, and just continuing to see that grow and evolve and become what we know it can be.
Yeah.
And then professionally on the other side, I know that me and my team are working on a ton of different projects that we're hoping leads more into like doing more narrative. And so that's really the goal for the next year as well. But I would love next year to be sitting in this chair saying, I'm married. We have a community that's built. We're doing meetups. I'm working on films.
Yeah.
And I hope that's what I'll be able to say.
And mwah, besos. Yeah, no, literally. I think we can be sitting in these chairs just in a much bigger facility.
We might be changing
we bring the chairs, but we're in a...
We bring the chairs and the personality.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
But your birthday is coming up too.
Do we need to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but... First of all, let me close you out.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm like, me.
Let me
catch
give you,
the ball.
Yeah, right. You're like, not me anymore. I want to give you your flowers because it's true. Like, I think that you've done so much work. I can't wait to see what you do this next year. Yeah. I won't say your age, but this next year is going to be amazing. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited to see what happens. I'm very excited for a wedding. I'm going to be shaking my ass on that dance floor.
You'll be twerking.
Yeah, I'll be like, Neil, come here. You need to see how to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just so excited to see you continue to up level and specifically your project. Like we've been able to see so much with your projects this year, and that the production team. So yeah, just seeing all of that and being able to, on the sidelines is going to be so exciting for me. So yeah, my birthday is coming up.
It is.
Yeah.
How are we celebrating?
I don't know, dude. I need to figure out
big party?
Something. No, probably not.
No?
Probably not. I feel like something I just last year was so good.
It was perfect. I can't believe that was a year ago.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Yeah. That was like a very different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I would, theoretically, I would like to do something similar to that where we just like went to a bar with a dance bar specifically. I was like, I want to dance with no inhibitions. And I want everyone having a good ass time.
Yes.
And that's what we did.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah. So
I haven't danced that much in so long, and I had the best
so much
time.
Fun.
Yeah.
Like the content from that night just is like so chaotic, dude. Like there's so many pictures and videos, and I'm like, we were really like, and we weren't like plastered or anything.
No,
it was just we were all having a good ass time.
Having a good time, yeah.
Yeah. So theoretically, theoretically, I'd want all of that to happen again. I want to be able to celebrate with my loved ones in so many facets.
Yeah.
The family dinner is a huge thing for me. time with my friends. I get a lot of individual dinners.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky gal. I feel like I get to go out with my friends individually a lot during my birthday time as well. And then something that I can do a wider audience, of like people. No, you know what I'm saying. I know that's a weird word choice, but yeah, I would like to just celebrate life in general, like not necessarily me, just like we did it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Anyway.
Do you want to answer the questions now?
I think let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I did not prepare for this, but
Sorry.
No. I'm glad. I didn't really tell you that we were going to throw you into the fire either. It's only fair. So yeah, I would say I'll keep it brief as much as I can, but my high of this year is, I think, like more of an energy. I know that's kind of a cop out, but I feel like I've had a lot of self-reflection in the last.
I don't think that's a cop out at all.
Okay. Thank you. That's very nice of her. But yeah, I would say the growth that I feel like I have done, like seeing it in real time, like you said, like sometimes you work so hard, and not until you're actually like rubber meets the road are you like, oh wow, I've really changed. Yep. And not drastically as a person, but like I feel like really self-assured, and I feel confident in my choices and how I interact with others. And that's just getting like, I feel like I'm aging like a fine wine, baby.
You are.
Like, I'm like, let's fucking go. Bellissimo.
No, you absolutely are. And I can attest to that. I've watched you like just continue to grow so much. And like, again, like you were mature when I met you, but like the way that you've like evolved into this, like even more like self-confident and like strong and creating those boundaries for yourself that I don't think you always had before.
Totally.
And like seeing that and how that you've like even taken that this year and amplified it, like beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I think just leaning into like feeling like I deserve more, and that even feels weird saying, but like I think I'm finally taking stock of what I bring to the table and in so many different capacities, whether that be professionally, relationship, friend, and I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's, let's keep pushing the envelope forward. And also, is that even a phrase? I get phrases wrong all the time.
No, pushing
the envelope is a phrase, but not forward. But
it
you know
is now.
what? We're pushing the envelope forward, guys. And yeah, I think just like knowing my worth and standing on business, as they say. That's something that I feel like I'm really proud of. That was a high for me. Low for me is I feel like there's still times where relationships have defined like my happiness. And I feel very happy when I'm single, but when I'm in that in between, I get out of the fucking way. Get off the road, Maddie. Maddie's about to go crazy. Godzilla's walking through, And so I think having that, again, that's where I've noticed the growth, but that's where any kind of pitfalls of those, of where I'm like, if I feel like I regress a little, those are in those moments of like, if I feel like I'm not being valued in a relationship.
Yep.
So those, I would say those are the lows, but it's like also kind of a high because it's like a teaching moment. You know?
Absolutely. And I don't think that I've seen you like your reactions to that being negative. I think they have all been growth patterns. And if you're growing from something, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like
it just doesn't feel like a warm hug in the moment.
Sure.
I'm like,
growth never does.
Yeah, right. That's such a good point. And the third question is what I learned, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Biggest lesson.
Biggest lesson is I can do more than I think I can. Like I think
she can.
Thank you.
She juggles.
Yeah, I juggle a lot.
You do.
And I feel like not to like pat myself on the back again, but I think having that moment of specifically with the podcast, I feel like I've learned so many skills doing the podcast and like taking that on.
A lot.
Yeah, and it's just like and pushing that skill set forward and being open to learning new things and not being so intimidated by things I don't know.
Yeah.
Generally, I think that's been a really incredible lesson this year. And then what am I looking forward to for the next year? I think, again, just like basking in that self-assuredness, like in a positive, non overly confident way, still keeping myself humble. But I think just leaning into what I bring to the table. I want to keep pushing that forward. My relationships, I think they've been in a really good place for a long time, especially like family and friends. Mm-hmm. So just like really developing those more and more and just making sure the people in my life know that how much they mean to me. Like that is my fucking really mission statement. Thank you. But I feel like I can always be better at that. Yeah. So just continuing that forward and spending the time with the people I want to spend time with, And it's my last year of my 20s. Like I gotta go out with a bang,
with a bang.
And next year is my golden birthday. So I feel like
that's a good one.
Yeah. So I feel like I need to.
Should we go to Paris?
I think we need to. She said it, guys. I think just like really basking in that would be lovely. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm a little like last year of my 20s. So we'll see how it goes.
You look like a zygote.
Zygote, dude. That's gonna be my new profile. I look like a zygote. Like literally. Thank you so much. You heard it here first. If
I say it, it's true.
Zygote baby girl. Yeah. Listen, I'm like wearing like not high rise. They look high rise on the fucking camera, but they're low rise babes. I'm Gen Z. Fucking what's it called? Cusp. I'm on the cusp, guys. Thank you for the zygote
I mean it. You look amazing, but also like again, just like I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. Like I've had such the pleasure of being able to witness your growth, and to see you up close and personal is a blessing to anybody that gets to be in your life.
Who paid her to say this? Connor, was it you? No, I'm joking. But like genuinely, it's thank you. That's so nice. That means so much to me. And again, like how much my community means to me, and I just feel like this is the best it's ever been, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
That's true, too, for you. Like, I think, like, your community has...
Both of us.
Yeah,
like you said,
absolutely. I think both of us have this year created such of the right crowd.
Yeah.
The right circle, the right people. And, like, it's so evident in the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm really proud of us. And I'm like, let's fucking keep it going.
Let's go.
And let's add a lover to the mix.
It's coming.
Like low-key.
My
already
ultimate goal in life is actually, if I have a child, to have it at the same time as her.
Guys,
so I'm really pushing this narrative.
Yeah, she literally sends me like reels that are like best friends having babies together.
It's gonna happen.
I'm a zygote, so I can't have one. Sorry.
True. Damn it. Age quicker, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, that would be such a special experience for sure. So but last question before we round it out. Yeah. So this has been about birthdays, aging, all that stuff. What is some words of advice that you would give someone that might be worried about aging, maybe hates their birthday? Like, I feel like that's a really common thing. What would you give those people?
I give you a pass to hate your birthday. Yeah. Like, that's totally fine. If you don't want to celebrate, you don't have to. But do remember that it is a blessing to age, even though it's hard to feel that way sometimes. And if you prefer to be alone when that happens, that's totally fine. If you prefer nobody knows, that's totally fine. You get the right to do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. We just hope that you lead a life that's positive and recognizing that this is your one life and to live it the best way possible.
Yeah. I co-sign. She's always really good at those, like, wrap up, like, perfect, like, let me give you the facts.
I'm just going to
and take it. Yeah, exactly. You're really good at that. And I'm so glad. And that's why I let you close out every goddamn episode, because I'm like, you guys translate that garbage fire that I just had.
Like, don't talk about my friend that way.
Word vomit that I just had for the last 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm so glad you said that. And I truly agree. I think go, if you want to cry on your birthday, cry on your birthday. But also know that you're in we're lucky to have you. Yeah. You're lucky to have you. Yeah.
And we love you, and we want you to be on this earth for many, many years to come.
Yeah. So live it to the fullest.
Absolutely. And don't forget to reflect on your birthdays too. If you guys had a birthday recently or one coming up, or you ask yourself these questions even mid-year or whatever that means for you, we would love to hear what your answers were, how this helped you reflect on what you want and what you went through. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and join us next week on Femme Tell All.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.